All right, so we're going to get started today with meditation. So join me on your mat. You can place a cushion under your knees because we're going into corpse pose, and sometimes that can be painful if you have a lot in the back area because it creates a hinge from your lower back to your sit bone, and that's painful. So using the cushions I took off my couch, it's very fancy, and I'm just gonna place my legs over them. I'm gonna use a blanket because it's super cold here. And I wanna make my body as comfortable as possible during the meditation because I wanna clear my mind. And I wanna make sure that I'm not thinking about like, oh, I'm feeling tension on my lower back or any of that. I'm breathing and I'm focusing on my breath. And if the meditation's guided, I'm trying to focus on that. So that's why it's really important to start this way. So once you're all set up, join me. Namaste, welcome. And let's get started. So I'm gonna go into to corpse pose. And I'm gonna guide you through a meditation. So once you have your body on the mat, make any final adjustments that you need. Maybe move your hips around, adjust your shoulder blades, and allow your body to start grounding into the mat, into the earth. Inhale, feel your chest rise. Exhale, feel your chest drop. Feel your heavy breathing as you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Making each inhale as long as possible. Gently bringing relief to our bodies as we exhale as gently as possible. Feeling your belly rise as you give your body relief of air. As we ground our bodies, we honor our ancestors and the origins of yoga. What does yoga mean? In the Sanskrit word, yoga means to yoke, to combine and unite our bodies, minds, and spirits. And we do that through the breath and setting intentions. The main focus is on our breath. It is not on the shapes that our body makes. Though these shapes have been made for thousands and thousands of years and hold strength and honor and require respect, require to know your own boundaries. your own self-love, to not bring your body suffering through these poses, but to bring it relief through your breath. Thanking our ancestors and the roots of yoga that allow us to practice today. Allow your body to feel the calmness, the peace that is practiced through yoga, through your breath. May this time today help you in breathing throughout the day, allowing yourself to honor the practice of nonviolence towards yourself and others. Not just physical nonviolence, but the challenging thoughts, the self-pity, beating yourself up. All of those are violence against yourself. Instead, may you bring breath and relief and love into those spaces of yourself. So that you may practice love and kindness and nonviolence with others. At this time, we're going to bring our intentions to our practice. If you have an intention that you would like to set, let's have 5 breaths for your own personal intentions for today. Continue to focus on your breath. If you're finding that your thoughts are running into your brain, I want you to say this to yourself to help release these thoughts so that you can focus on your breath. And you can bring this into the rest of the practice today as well. When you're inhaling, you can say to yourself, when I'm breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. And when you exhale, you say, when I'm breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Focus on that and on your breath. Release all the other thoughts, your to-do list for today. Any anxieties, any intrusive challenges. Right now, it's your time for you to connect with yourself. Prioritize yourself. Show yourself love by putting yourself first in this moment. And through that, we will be bringing peace and love to the world. Let's take the next few breaths and just allow our body to rest and breathe. When you're ready, start bringing in some movement to your toes, some movement to your fingers. Maybe you're making circles now with your feet and your wrist, waking up your forearms and your elbows and your shoulders. Just making some gentle movements. When you're ready, swing your knees from left to right, very slowly, very gentle. Swing your head from left to right, very slowly, very gentle. Maybe you want to have your knees follow this movement from your head. And then gently bring the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes away from each other, making your body as long as you can, taking a big stretch. And gently releasing that stretch. And we're going to bring the soles of our feet to the mat or the cushion, whatever's closer to you. And then bring your knees towards your chest. Give it a big hug. Swing your knees gently from left to right so you can feel some movement on your hips. If this is accessible to you, you may want to reach for your ankles and swing your body from left to right for happy baby. If it is accessible to you, my body's still pretty tight from sleeping, so it is not accessible to me. So I'm just gonna keep swinging my legs. Give them a big hug as I bring them closer to my chest. Then I'm gonna drop my knees, both right knees, to the right side of the mat for a twist. I'm gonna gently bring both arms to lay on the mat, creating a straight line. And I should be feeling this on my hip and my glute, a little bit on my leg as well. Gently see if you can breathe in a space to close the space between your left shoulder blade and the mat. As you breathe, feel that shoulder blade slowly inch its way towards the mat. Keeping your knees on the ground. You may want to bring your gaze to your left palm. Have both palms facing the sky. Staying here for 5 breaths. When you're ready, gently drop your sit bone and your left hip on the mat. Roll over to bring your knees towards your chest, your torso, and your legs are aligned to center again. We're hugging your knees. We're swinging your knees left to right. And on the next breath, exhale, inhale, and then exhale, and drop your knees towards the left side of the room. Oh man, there's this lovely crack and stretch on my hip, keeping our shoulder blades on the mat, extending our arms for a straight line, keeping both knees together, gaze towards the right arm or the one that's away from your legs. As you breathe into this, visualize your shoulder blades being restfully laying on your mat. Maybe that right side, bringing that a little bit towards the mat, just visually. Doing your best at keeping both knees together, both knees on the left side of the mat. If you feel any tightness, bring it relief by breathing. When you're ready, gently bring your knees, bring your sit bone and your hip down to the center of the mat again. Hug your knees into your chest. Swing your body left and right to shake it out. You can, and it's accessible to you. You can do happy baby, which is grabbing your ankles and then swinging your legs left to right. Next, gently bring your soles of your feet onto the mat. You may need to move your cushions if they're in the way. And then if you have like a rope or like one of those elastic bands or just a towel, honestly, that's what I'm using. A towel, make that towel into like a rope type of thing. While I get that ready, I'm gonna put both of the soles of my feet together. I'm gonna keep that ready for myself, but I'm gonna just do a few breaths onto this pose or while you get your band. Visualizing and dropping those hips, the back of my leg, gently moving towards the mat. If this is painful for your knees or any part of you, do not do it. You can also place yoga blocks underneath your knees or the cushion that you have. You can place that like right under there if it's big enough. Mine is not, so and I like stretching my hips out this way, so that's what I'm gonna do. Just 2 more breaths here. When you're ready, bring both knees together. Bring the soles of your feet onto the mat. Bring your band, towel, whatever you have, and place it under the arch of your right foot. We're gonna bring our left leg down to the mat. And we're kind of keeping that left leg, like, if you can bring it all the way down, bring it down. My leg is a little elevated because of my glute being so voluptuous that, you know, it creates an arch. So I'm keeping my foot and my leg engaged by, on my left leg, by putting my toe, flexing my foot and having my toe face the sky. On my right leg, I want to keep this leg straight. I want to keep a slight bend on the knee so that I'm not locking my knee. I want to hinge my toes towards me. So I'm keeping that foot flexed. And I'm breathing into this pose. As I breathe, I'm gently moving it as close to my chest as I can without creating any suffering. Again, if you're creating suffering, release through the breath, and also be gentle with yourself and don't do so much. This is about breathing and about connecting to your mind and your body. Then gently bring both hands together. And then you're going to put one hand over the other, like in terms of height. And you're going to gently drop that right leg, still engaged with the rope or band. And we're going to bring that to create a T, the letter T, with your leg, your torso, and the leg that is in the rope. We're going to bring that leg as close as possible to the mat as we can. You're going to feel this on the top of your leg. It's very easy to lock your knees, so try to keep a slight bend if you can and breathe. When you're ready, gently, super gently and slowly, bring that leg back to center. And now let's take it over for a twist over to the left side. The more that you keep the left side of your left leg and your left hip on the mat, the more stretch you're going to feel, more expansion you're going to feel on the right leg that's constrained. Again, keep a straight line, keep your foot flexed, and you should be feeling that all over this hip area too. Then gently bring that leg back to the center. Bend your knee towards your chest. Hug your knee if it's accessible to you. And then I want you to we're going to do a modified pigeon. So continue to hold that foot and bring that leg over your left knee. Bring the sole of the foot from your left leg onto the mat. And you can do a couple of things here. You can just do this if this is accessible to you and it's not causing suffering. You can also lift your left leg so that it's lifting the leg that was constrained, your right leg. And you're going to bring it towards your chest. If it's accessible to grab your ankle and your knee at the same time as you bring it towards your chest. You should be feeling that on the back of the leg. Again, if this is hurting your knee or your leg in any way, just drop and modify. Drop your left sole of your foot on the mat. And this is a really good start until your body's prepared and ready. Then gently bring that knee towards your chest again. Give it a big hug. And then we're gonna gently place our leg down on the mat again, and we're gonna shake it out. I'm gonna shake my knees from left to right, so it's also shaking out my hips and my ankles. Next, we're gonna do our left leg. So go ahead and keep that right leg now resting. We're gonna give that a break, except we're still gonna keep it engaged by flexing our foot. And then we're gonna take our left leg, take our towel or band. Just realized. Sorry, I'm just fixing my back is all sweaty on the mat. Okay, so we're gonna take our band or whatever we have and bring our left leg up towards our chest and grab the arch of my foot with this towel. If I can make it happen, that would be really cool. There we go. Now bringing it into your chest, straightening out the left leg, engaging both legs by flexing our feet, dropping our shoulders to the mat, relaxing our shoulders and our back. This is meant to stretch out the back of your legs, your calves, keeping a slight bend at the knees so we're not locking our leg. Breathe. Then we're going to gently bring that left leg and drop it to the left side of the room, creating the letter T. If we can get that to go straight, that's great. Now just hold it as close to the mat as you can. Don't lock your knee, so make sure to bring a slight bend to the knee and breathe. Then gently bend your knee, bring that knee towards your chest. And then we're going to bring it over to the right side for a twist. Keeping the right leg straight and the left leg is over right leg and it's fighting to get to the floor of the mat as I keep my shoulder blades on the mat as best I can. When you're ready, gently bring that back to center. Bring your knee towards your chest. Lift your right sole of your foot onto the mat. You can stay here for a modified pigeon. Or you can also grab your ankle and your knee, pushing that left leg with your right knee into your chest. Dropping your shoulders. Again, you could just stay here if this is too strenuous. And when you're ready, bring both knees towards your chest. Hug your knees. Swing your body left to right. And then gently place the soles of your feet back on the mat. And swing your your knees left to right. Stretching out your hips, stretching out your legs, shaking it out, bringing your feet down on the mat to shake it out. Extending your arms away from your feet and your feet away from your arms. And then just creating movement on your bodies as we've been laying. Every time I go from left to right, my back is cracking and it feels so good. Okay, so now we're placing the soles of our feet on the mat and we're gonna roll over on the right side of our bellies. And then we're gonna lay on our shoulder, our right shoulder. We're gonna take the left palm. We're gonna bring it to the mat, to the outside of that shoulder. We're just gonna roll into it as we sit up gently. And as we sit up, we're gonna actually go work to get on all fours. Just wanna check the time. Okay, so we're gonna meet in all fours. We're gonna sit on our calves and our ankles. Breathe. Next, we're gonna stand on our knees. If this is too painful for you and not accessible to your knees, you can place a cushion or just your towel or blanket or whatever. Just stand there. And that helps. If this is not accessible to you because your knees hurt right now, then you can also just stand for this. That's fine. The point is to breathe and to be connected through the breath. With your knees, standing on your knees, open up your stance to hip width apart. Place your hands on your hips. Bring your arms up to the sky. Drop your shoulders. We're gonna hinge at our hips to the back of the room. Your head, you wanna keep your head reaching towards the back of the room as your arms are reaching to the back of the room. And we're gonna hinge back to center. Bring our palms to center. In prayer. Next, we're gonna get into our cat and cow stretches. So gently bring your hands down to the mat. You may wanna bring your sit bone down to your calves and then slowly just walk your hands up your mat so that you are on all fours. Tuck your chin to start. Keep your back straight. And we're gonna use a lot of our hips and our pelvic bone, pelvis. So bring your chin towards the sky with an inhale and arch your back towards the sky. And then we're gonna exhale and bring our hips towards our chest and our chin towards our chest. Being gentle with our bodies. Arching our pelvis, allowing our hips to guide this movement and our breath to guide this movement. When you're ready, unclasp your toes, bring your sit bone back. If you want, you can also drop your elbows to the mat. Drop your head to the mat. Extend the palms of your hand. And allow your hips to rest. In child's pose or puppy pose. I think it's like called excited puppy. I don't know what the Western world. I want to learn all the Sanskrit words. Then gently lean over your shoulders and drop your torso on the mat. I like to do a bit of shaking on the mat just because it feels so good on my hips. Breathe. Next, we're going to bring the palms of our hands out. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, out. We're going to reach. And we're going to contract our back muscles and our glutes as we lift our arms, keeping our chin tucked. And we're going to lift our ankles and we're going to do kind of like a Superman. So we're going to lift our hands and arms, and we're going to also lift our legs, but we're going to keep our torso and hip grounded on the mat. So the next inhale, lift your upper body, keeping your hips, your belly on the mat. Contract your glutes. Keep your chin tucked to protect your neck. And breathe. Then gently bring that body down to the mat again. Give it a few seconds of rest. And again, we're going to contract our stomach muscle, our glutes, and lift. And then gently come down. When you're ready, bring both palms to the sides of your shoulders. And we're going to lift our upper back, keeping our hips and our feet on the mat. Dropping your shoulders. Breathe. We're going to gently bring our hips down and our bellies and chest down and head down to the mat. And again, we're going to lift our chins towards the sky, dropping our shoulders. Then we're going to bring our bodies down. Then we're going to gently lift. And as we lift, we're also going to bring our sit bones back to our calves. And stand and get on all fours. Lift, sit bone back towards our calves. Then we're going to tuck our toes so that we're rolling onto our the balls of our feet. Keeping our knees bent, bringing our heels down to the mat, walking your hands towards your feet towards your hands and your hands towards your feet, keeping your head down, your chin tucked. We're going to bring our palms of our hands to our ankles, allow our bodies to hang. Then we're going to gently hinge at the hips and bring our bodies on standing position for mountain pose. Then we're gonna bring our feet together. And get what I need out of the way. And we're gonna go from here to tree. All right. So for tree, start at mountain pose and engage every toe and both your heels. Find a spot on the floor or on your mat to focus on for balance. Breathe. Once you feel centered in your breath, bring the sole of your foot to the outside of your calf. If you're able to bring it up higher and that's accessible to you, do that. If you need more support here, bring a block and use that also to balance this foot. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to stand beside my blocks. I'm going to start with mountain. I was looking at the video thing there. Okay. So you can use it. You can lean in that foot into the blocks. Then bring your toe onto the blocks. And this brings support so that not everything is on your one right ankle and foot. And it shouldn't be. It actually should be spread out through your whole foot. And you should be engaging your muscles on your legs as well to create some support. Tighten up your glutes also helps. If this is too much for you, then you can also just do your toe on the mat. So I'm going to shake it out. I'm going to continue to do it with the modification to keeping it just slightly down here. And breathing. May this pose remind us to have balance today. When you've had enough of practice on the right leg, shake it out. And let's do it on the left leg. So starting at mountain. Once I'm centered, I bring my other foot up, the right sole of my foot up. When you're ready, meet me in mountain pose. Shake it out on both ankles and legs. Next, I want you to bring back your bolsters and your blanket to me for the closing meditation, Shavasana. And if you have a blanket and you want a blanket, you can do that too. So for you, I want you to be in corpse pose for this meditation. I'm going to be seated because I'm going to be playing the Tibetan bowl to guide your breaths and to guide the meditation. But for you, please be on corpse pose. So lay down on your mat. Again, if it is not accessible to you for whatever reason, laying down, maybe your back is already kind of tender, you can also just grab a chair and sit on a chair. Again, the point of this is not to create suffering. It is to connect to your body, mind, body, and spirit. So listen to your body. All right. So as we come to center our breath, every time you hear the Tibetan bell ring, I want you to take a deep inhale. Listen to its vibrations, the long sounds. Focus on nothing else but your breath in this bowl. Focus on each inhale and each exhale, as each exhale brings you closer to the earth, grounding your body, mind, and spirit into what's important, into the connection of self. Closing the session with bringing back the gratitude for this practice, for its origins, for the ancestors that made it so. Thanking ourselves from the bottom of our hearts for practicing self-love and peace, compassion towards ourselves in this practice and bringing it into our day. May you be safe. May you be loved. May you live with ease. Let's take last 3 closing breaths together. We're going to inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds. Inhale, hold, exhale, inhale, hold, exhale, last one. Inhale, hold, exhale. You have a blessed day. Gently start bringing movement to your toes, movement to your ankles, your fingers. Gently roll your head left and right, just very gently. Bring your arms up towards the sky or away from your feet. Stretch. Create more movement with your hips. As you've created this movement, gently open your eyes. Place your hands over your heart. Thank you for spending this time with yourself so that we can make the world more peaceful, more full of people with self-love.